All right, let's stay on Friday, December 23rd. We have two bowls on Friday. The second one is in prime time, 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. Wake Forest against Missouri. This is the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Wake Forest is this game's been floating around 1-1. Wake Forest is a 1-point favorite here, over under 60.5. The big news here is, well, let's start. Wake Forest has a couple. They lost their top corner, is in the transfer portal. Their starting safety has been hurt, missed the last 3 games. It looks like Sam Hartman, A.T. Perry are going to play. And on the Missouri side, they're missing their best receiver, Lovett, who hit the transfer portal. He's going to be a good get for somebody. And on defense, and Missouri's defense was excellent all year, they lose their 2 defensive ends who declared for the NFL draft. Did they declare for the NFL draft or hit the portal? I think they might have declared for the NFL draft. One was on first team all SEC, and the other really came on the second half of the year, and they were a huge part of that defense. And then also they lose their Martez Manuel, who plays like the star position, the safety, who was really good as well. So that's 3 key pieces on the defense and their best receiver. So without those 2 defensive ends, can Missouri mess up the mesh point? The Missouri's defense was great all year. Wake Forest defense was pretty good against the run, extremely vulnerable against the pass. Can Missouri, which offense was limited this year, take advantage without Lovett, but against a secondary that's missing some pieces in Wake? Really interesting game here. What do you see?
Yeah, Eli Drinkwitz gave up offensive play calling the last 3 games to his quarterback coach, and the results showed him Brady Cook. He had 7 of his 13 TDs come in the last 3 games. But the problem is he loses his most explosive wide receiver, as you mentioned. He was targeted 10 times by Cook in the final game against Arkansas. So, I mean, that's just a huge piece to lose there. Lovett was exclusively in the slot. You expect Barrett Bannister will take over all those routes, and he was shy of 2 yards per route run, which is really the definition of what an explosive wide receiver is. And I think the issues just are going to continue to persist with havoc allowed on the Tigers offense. 91 tackles for loss allowed. There's only 12 teams in FBS that are worse than that. Missouri lets everybody lay through those A, B, and C gaps and get hands on Brady Cook. Bad luck and fumbles this year. 12 coughed up, 10 were lost. So there's not really any kind of awareness of when the ball is on the carpet. And Wake Forest thrives in pass rush, 2nd in the nation, 30th in havoc, and the high havoc ranking comes from forced fumbles and PBUs. So Cook is, I'm glad Cook had this feel-good story down the stretch, loses his best weapon, and he's got a defense that's going to be on top of him here. And you talked about the mesh RPO. Can Missouri defend that? Losing Isaiah McGuire, which all those guys you mentioned, they opted out for the NFL draft. That's just such a huge missing piece for them. No one generated more pressure than McGuire. Linebacker DJ Coleman was 3rd on the team in pressures, 2nd in sacks. He's gone. And there's just way too many contributors here that are going to be missing from this Missouri defense that kind of kept them close in a lot of their games. They kind of surprised us a lot here. Now, who is practicing for a bowl? Wide receiver A.T. Perry for Wake Forest. I was a little shocked by that, but he is in this game, and that's the biggest, explosive weapon for Sam Hartman here. And Wake is one of the best teams nationally in scoring position. They average 4.8 points every time they get past the 40-yard line. And also, you want to put some narrative in this, or you want to put some motivation in this. Clausen came out and said, we are super excited that we get an SEC team. We didn't care where we went. We just wanted an SEC team. So this Wake Forest team is like, they're running with the ACC flag. I know that we are completely fading the ACC in all of their bowls, but this is the only one where they're specifically calling out the SEC and saying we are motivated to beat the SEC, and Missouri's down a bunch of players. Give me the Demon Deacons here.
Yeah, Sam Hartman's last hurrah. As long as he doesn't have one of his games, he has those games every once in a while where he just turns it over 5 times. But a lot of times that's against a team that's blowing up the mesh. And I think without Coleman and McGuire, who were excellent all year, and then I think that they impacted their pass defense numbers as well because they were able to get such great pressure. They're also good against the run. So, yeah, Wake, I think Clausen's 4-2 against the spread in bowls. And look, I think they'll be motivated to. It's the fact that Hartman and Perry are playing, and last year they played Rutgers in a bowl, at the last second, this is a real bowl for them.
Also, it's been said multiple times that Hartman needs one more passing touchdown to be the all-time ACC leader, surpassing Taj Boyd. I'm sure a prop, if you can find it on Hartman's passing touchdowns over one, is going to be, considerably juiced. But that's all that they've talked about. So Hartman, 2 TDs, 3 TDs, we'll see. But he's breaking a record here for the ACC.